From the Vindabona Studios, it's closing time with Zach Ehrlich. I'm Brendan Mullally. Tonight's very special guest is Veronica Barron, featuring the musical talents of the Beatles tribute band Studio 2. Now, here's your host, Zach Ehrlich.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Closing Time. Not live anymore. We didn't deserve it. My name is Zach Ehrlich, and if I look familiar, it's because you've watched intellectual porn before. This season on Closing Time, not live because it didn't work. Please don't talk about it on the show. Please, we're going to be discussing some pretty heavy topics. Did I say discuss? I mean resolve, permanently, without question. As an almost graduate of somewhere, I make it my mission to solve the issues facing the modern late-night TV show demographic.
What's that?
Of course, no intellectual Jew is anything without a quirky and fun non-Jew. Which is why I decided to finally take my best friend Brendan out of the divorce shelter he's lived in for the past few years and moved him into a nice, cozy podium.
The air conditioning works, and I sleep in a bunk bed.
Of course you do. Brendan and I will be working as partners in crime.
And love.
Strictly crime, to provide our demographic, which is, of course...
Frogs.
Men and women between 18 and 25, and also frogs. The answers to the biggest questions of the world. Tonight's completely solvable topic is...
Oh, history. You know, Zach, I've heard of this.
And so have we all. History has only taken millions of years to happen so far because people are easily distracted by video games and dinosaur bones. I would solve the whole matter in about 23 minutes, but for your entertainment, I'll stretch it out to an hour.
Oh, you're so giving, Zach.
Brendan, you're the best friend in the world.
You're the best friend slash landlord slash solver of impossible things that I have, and my dad would be very disappointed to hear that.
He would. Unfortunately, Brendan, your father's disappointment in you isn't a pertinent area of history. But to get everybody warmed up, we'll start with the top stories this week. To the headlines!
Can I come?
It's not safe! So, as you may know, as of October 1st, the American government has officially shut down. And for those of you not in the know, in the American political system, this maneuver is known as a crybaby surprise. There's this new camera technology that allows the New England Aquarium to give visitors the point of view from the divers swimming in the tank, which is really cool because glass and water are see-through, but a giant person in the middle of a tank isn't. So in light of the recent government shutdown, Boston College's football record may be put in jeopardy, which I know is the scariest thing about this, because they were originally scheduled to play a U.S. Naval Academy, whose sports teams kind of depend on the government existing. And this is devastating, because everyone cares a lot about football and stuff. A 99-year-old woman graduated from high school this week after dropping out in 1931. The recent graduate said, "Senior's 31," and then she died. She died. That woman is a corpse now. A new psychological study shows that adolescence actually continues to the age of 25, at which point I still don't plan on leaving, Mom. I hope Mom's listening. The other day, a Ukrainian couple was hit by a train while having sex on the train tracks. Apparently, getting caught up in the drunken passion of lovemaking, they didn't even hear the train coming. Children, here's the lesson. Don't have sex on railroad tracks. If you aren't even allowed to sit on it, don't have sex on it. This goes for everything. Good news, guys. This year, New York City murder rate has dropped by nearly 27%, and it's the lowest it's been since the 1950s. Isn't that great, Brendan?
It is pretty great, Zach.
Yeah, let's go to New York. But to be fair, murder was different in the 1950s. You had to give your knife to an operator who would then patch it through a series of cables to your victim. And people drank whiskey at work, so it's kind of hard to trust them about like statistics and stuff. It was announced this week that the Breaking Bad finale broke ratings records with 10.3 million viewers. Is there any Breaking Bad fans in here? Anybody into that? Yeah. You know, by the end of that series, the only thing that could have made Walt any more unlikable would be if he was constantly telling people to watch Breaking Bad. A teacher at a Florida high school recently returned to school to discover in his classroom there was a mason jar holding a human fetus. To which the man replied, "Ah, just where I left it," and floated off into space with the rest of Florida.
Florida, huh?
Yep, them Floridians. We're on the same wavelength here, Brendan.
Yep.
A survey recently announced that people who believe in God, guys, this is serious business. We're talking about people who believe in God here. People who believe in God are less likely to believe in aliens, which is nice to know that even the most adamant believers of both subjects can agree on one thing: anal probing. Do we not have a lot of anal probing fans in this audience? Al-Qaeda, this is a real thing. Al-Qaeda made its first official Twitter account last Tuesday, which was shut down after only 5 days after getting caught replying "gay" to all President Obama's tweets. 14-year-old golf prodigy Guan Tianling will take on Tiger Woods in a skills challenge before an 18-hole showdown on Monday. In addition to beating Woods on the golf course, Tianling also plans to get more bitches. With a name like that, I don't think he has his work cut out for him. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a great show for you tonight. Veronica Barron from the Freedom Trail is here. She's going to be great. We're going to interview her. And we also have Studio 2, the Beatles tribute band. They're going to crank out some tunes for you. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back. Oh, do you hear that? That's the coughing sound effect. That means it's time for us to answer some closing time fan mail.
Yeah.
Oh, love that sound effect. So we asked you, the viewers, to write in with questions and problems that you regular people run into in your regular people lives. Tonight's theme is history, after all, and I have often said that the answers to a great many of today's problems lie within the annals of history. Don't I often say that, Brendan?
I wake up to it every morning.
You sure do. Now, Brendan and I may not be able to solve your problems, but I'm sure if we reach deep into history's cavernous annals, we might just find some folks who can. Let's take a look at this one that's on the top. Dear Zach and Brendan, my family recently moved to a new city, and I started going to a new school where I didn't know anyone. I tried to make friends by telling everyone that my dad is Kevin Spacey, and it worked. But now all my friends are planning to come over, and they'll see that I have 2 moms, and neither is Kevin Spacey. What should I do? Well, I don't know if Brendan and I have an answer for you, but I have a hunch that our friend Mark Twain might just be able to help. Now, my dear, that reminds me of a story I done did hear about a young boy named Kyle and his jumping frog, who was also named Kyle for the sake of convenience. Kyle told just about everybody in this town that Frog Kyle could outjump any frog this side of the Mason-Dixon, which is a southern thing, right? Yeah, it is. But the truth was, Kyle the Frog done lost use of his legs during whatever the war was back then. So you could imagine Kyle's dread when old droopy-faced Jake, the local droopy-faced man who was droopy from some kind of alopecia, came a-hollering about a frog jumping contest 2 towns over. Now Kyle, not wanting to come off as a no-good blowhard, signed up for the contest and got it into his head that the best thing was to think up a cheating plan fast. Soon, the day of the contest came, and on their way, both Kyles were hit by a train and killed instantly. And the town rejoiced. Hope that helped.
That was the best story I've ever heard, and I've heard 2 stories.
Thank you, Brendan. Would you like to help out our viewers? And why don't you answer a question?
Boy, would I!
Here, take your pick.
Dear Zach and Brendan, I love my little brother, but he won't stop following me around and trying to be just like me. It's super annoying. How do I get him to stop?
Oh, that is a tough one, Brendan.
Sure is. I don't know if I can answer your question, but I think Malcolm X might be able to.
Brendan! No! Brendan, stop! Brendan, stop right now! Brendan, stop that! Oh. Brendan, you cannot do that!
I'm sorry.
It's okay, Brendan. Okay, all right. Maybe, Brendan, maybe there's someone else who can answer this question?
You know, I think there is. I think George Washington.
Yeah?
Carver.
No, Brendan! Brendan, stop! Brendan, put it down! Brendan, put that down. Take it up. Why do we even have that in the studio? Okay, that's bad for the same reasons. Here, maybe Ronald Reagan has something to say about this one. Well, son, maybe by working hard and disrespecting your elders, you'll set a good example for your brother. And those traits will trickle down and turn him into a fine, upstanding young man as well, Berlin Wall.
Is that all you have to say, Reagan?
Well, yes. Why, there is something else I should...
How about how you invented crack, you dirty old goon?
Brendan, that's not okay. That's not even a little bit okay, and that's not even true.
I'm just trying to help.
I know, buddy. You're just super bad at it. All right. Okay. Hold on. There's got to be something you can't screw up here. Okay. What do we got here? Okay. This one is short, and this one... Okay, very simple. All right. Dear Zach and Brendan, I'm about to meet my boyfriend's parents for the first time, and I'm very nervous. What should I do? Can we? I think we can do this. Do you think maybe J.D. Salinger maybe has an answer?
Kill John Lennon.
Jesus Christ, Brendan.
I'm sorry, kill John Lennon, you f***ing phony!
I literally cannot believe you are doing this. I cannot believe you are doing this on air.
Did I do good?
No, not at all. You did the opposite of good.
I'm sorry, Zach, I'm doing my best.
I know, buddy. But your best is still drastically lower than most people's worst. I guess it's not your fault. Here, why don't we do one together? I'm sure it's an easy one, okay? I promise.
Okay, Mom.
All right, let's read... What?
What?
What was that?
Nothing.
Did you just call me Mom?
No. I said, okay, John.
My name is Zach.
Yeah, I know that. Zach. Why don't we just read the letter?
Okay. All right. Dear Zach and Brendan, one of the girls at school has been spreading mean rumors about me. Okay. I try to be nice to her, but she still hates me for some reason, and I have no idea why. What should I do? Well, I don't think Zach and Brendan can help you out, but I have a feeling Al Capone and Peter Gusenberg can.
Who's that?
One of the victims of the St. Valentine's Day massacre. And I'm Al Capone, so I've just shot you, so you're dead. So can you be dead? Hey, you talking to me? You talking to me? Listen, dollface, everyone talk to me like that, I'd be like, bada bing, I'm walking here. So you go ahead and get this through your head.
Oh, the light, I can see it.
Brendan, what are you doing?
You shot me, but I haven't died yet.
Well, that's not how it happened, so why don't you stop,
Oh, God, the pain is unbearable.
Brendan.
My wife, I'll never see her beautiful face again. Oh, my sweet Isadora, how I'll miss you.
Inaccurate.
My daughters, my sweet, innocent daughters, Marlene, Bertha, Sardini, Cupertino.
Isn't that a font? So anyways, bada bing, bada boom.
I came to America in search of a better life for my family so that my beautiful daughters could live a life of freedom and opportunity. Look, Papa, still here. My darling Cupertino. Look, Papa, the statue, just like I read about in my books. Look here, America.
Brendan, this is ridiculous.
Somewhere out beneath the pale moonlight.
God damn it, Brendan. God damn it.
Please, put one in my head. Come on, finish it, you coward. Oh.
Okay, all right. That was a valiant effort. We're done. Brendan, segment over. Are you happy now?
Yes. I was just trying to make history come alive.
That's not your job, Brendan. This is my show. I make history come alive. You're my sidekick. You kick side.
Oh yeah? Well, maybe I'll go host my own show, and I'll wear the clothes that I wore in the introduction, and it's gonna be so much better than your show, because you'll never be on the show.
Well, fine. Okay.
Okay.
Fine.
Okay.
All right. See ya.
Bye.
Later. Brendan, wait. I need you. I need you so much. Well, that's all the time we have for right now. Let's see what Brendan gets up to inside that podium.
Welcome to everybody's favorite late-night talk show extravaganza, The Brendan Show. Please, we're all too kind. You are such a great live audience. So, I was on my way to the show tonight when I was sucked through an interdimensional wormhole and into my podium. Talk about a case of the Mondays. Am I right, Dr. Fluffy? On to the news. Recently in papers, I might be lactose intolerant. A recent study conducted by Dr. Fluffy has found that my deodorant might just be, in fact, some urinal cakes. Oh, in related news, actually, I developed an underarm rash, which has caused my tennis game to severely nosedive. So. On to tonight's fan mail. Only from my mom, because the neighbors cut the Wi-Fi. So. Tonight our theme is history, and my guest is someone who I have plenty of personal history with. My roommate, Oscar! Oscar! Oscarino Oscar! How have you been, man?
I'm okay, Brendan. Did you read the note I left on the kitchen table this morning?
I used it to wrap my breakfast burrito.
You didn't read it, Brendan?
You know, that would have been a good idea, but it was just there for decoration.
Brendan, I don't have time for your spooky talk show thing right now. I have to tell you something.
Oh, breaking news! You heard it here first on The Brendan Show.
I'm moving out.
What? Where are we moving out to? The podium market is in terrible shape right now.
We are not moving out, Brendan, just me.
Oh.
I'm moving out.
Are you moving out with your parents? Oh wait, you can't. Because his parents are dead.
Don't be like that, Brendan.
I'm sorry, it's not my fault that you're an orphan. I don't see why you want to move out.
Move out? Brendan, I never moved in. I just woke up here one day and I don't know how to leave. The last thing I remember is a rag to my face at your birthday party.
We're so close.
No. This place is a labyrinth of nightmares.
Oscar, you're a card. I'm gonna miss some of the memories we've had here.
What? Like what?
I'm glad you asked. Oh, Doug, roll the slideshow. Doesn't it just warm your heart?
What?
This is what you'd be walking out on, Oscar. You think you're just gonna find a roommate better than me in this economy?
Yes, actually, almost immediately.
Oscar, you ever think that maybe you aren't a very good roommate?
Really? How so?
Okay, number one, you never sing along with my songs. Number two, you never help me pick out any candy when we go to the store. And number three, you never ever want to play any of my games.
Okay, fine, Brendan. If I play one of your games with you, will you let me leave?
Perfect timing. We've reached the gaming segment of tonight's show. And the game is hot potato. The rules, prison rules.
Okay.
Potato making you nervous, Oscar?
Not really.
You don't know how hot potato ends in prison. How does it feel, Oscar? How does it feel to follow the prison rules?
Brendan, what the hell is going on here?
Nothing.
Are you hosting a less impressive talk show in my apartment again?
Zach, I'm sorry. It's just that
Brendan, I don't want to hear it. We have a real, regular, impressive talk show going on in the studio right now, and we need you to help us finish it.
Really?
Yeah, really. Brenda, hosting Closing Time is a two-man/woman/farm animal job, and the goat we hired to replace you is a miserable diva.
So you want me back?
We need you back. Can you come with me so we can finish the show?
Brendan, can I please leave now?
Glad to have you back, Brendan.
Glad to be back, Zach.
Oh. Well, now that Brendan's back, we'll be right back with our guest tonight, Veronica Barron. So please don't go away. See you in a minute. Everybody, we have a very special guest here tonight. She's a tour guide for the Freedom Trail Foundation. You might recognize her from the Boston Common. Her name is Veronica Barron. Let's give her a warm welcome, please. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here from the past tonight, Veronica. We really appreciate it. So you are basically as close as we've come so far to a time traveler. How's that working out for you?
It works out really pretty well. I get to walk the streets of modern-day Boston wearing a bonnet, which is a good time.
This is far and away the most impressive bonnet collection we've ever had on Closing Time.
You just add some flowers and some ribbons, and you're really like in good shape.
That's wonderful.
For life.
Do you find yourself needing those for a lot of other occasions that come in handy at like weddings and bar mitzvahs, or is
I haven't. The Freedom Trail Foundation is a nonprofit.
Oh,
that means it's very serious.
Right.
We do have a pub crawl, so there's sometimes some inebriation involved in your history. But
only sometimes?
Only sometimes.
That's still enough, I could see. So how did you, so you're an actor who locally does acty things. How did you get into doing this acty thing?
Well, I guess really just, it's a job that involves being comfortable performing and telling stories, and I have a lot of other actor friends who also work for the Freedom Trail Foundation. Oh. So at some point they sort of suggested maybe I check it out.
Got it. So it's like being a Freemason or like a member of a Los Angeles gang. You just got to know somebody.
Almost the same.
Got it.
Almost the same thing.
Got it.
Yeah.
Do you prefer to kill Crips or Bloods?
I really try to stick to lobsterbacks.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Good call. So as much as we're trying to solve history tonight, I actually don't know that much about the period you cover, which is the lead up to the American Revolution in Boston, right?
Yeah.
Is there interesting stuff about that? I mean, I'm sure.
Oh no.
There's nothing interesting about that. No, I mean, what attracts you to that particular topic? I'm curious.
Well, I mean, as a transplanted Bostonian, it's pretty exciting to be in a city where a lot of the I don't know, you've heard the phrase perhaps foment a rebellion, you know, all these like ye old historical words, like there's this sense that, it happened right here. So in particular, Boston has a sort of incendiary history as this little, the boiling pot where the rebellion was sort of cooked, you could say.
That's great. We're all pretty incendiary here, and I was wondering where that came from.
Yeah.
I guess it's just a local color thing.
An arson thing?
An arson thing as well, yeah. That's the theme. Next episode, we're going to solve arson,
Great,
so just if you want to come back for that.
In this case, it's metaphorical, strictly metaphorical.
Oh, strictly metaphorical? Yeah. Does that work for you, Brendan?
Not our deal, not our deal.
Okay, all right. We can solve this too later on.
Great.
Do you meet any funny people on these tours? I mean, I'm sure you meet a lot of people.
It's true, yeah. That is actually one of the interesting things about the job to me, is that you get to tell the same stories but to people with vastly different experiences. So you're ranging from, I don't know, like Korean 10-year-olds who are here to learn English. I learned
like
some things from them.
Konichi, wow.
I'm sorry, let's move on.
Yeah,
let's move on from that.
A lot of tourists. I really enjoy I don't know, you get your retirees who are sort of coming through with, the sans kids, they're finally free, they can go and...
Them retirees are history. It makes sense that they want to be immersed in that.
Yeah, but it's a fun thing to get to slant the story to your audience.
Slant the story to your audience?
Correct, yeah.
Is that sounds a little bit like making stuff up.
It does sound like making stuff up.
Yeah.
Is anyone from the Freedom Trail watching this? That's not what I meant, just to be clear.
Our tens of viewers are going to be very concerned.
Just like our founding fathers, you could say, who were known to slant a story or two.
Yeah.
For instance, the Boston Massacre, this is one of my favorite little tidbits. The Boston Massacre is not always what that event was called, as in many cases. The name catches on after a while, and then that's what we all call it. But for a while, there was we're duking it out. We called it the Boston Massacre, and in England, they called it the unfortunate incident. That's true. That's why we don't have to make stuff up on the Freedom Trail, actually. Is that the actual stuff is a little ridiculous.
I gotta give credit to the English, because I mean they could call basically anything the unfortunate incident, and they chose the murder of several American colonists.
Right. I sort of picture them like sipping tea in a sort of Downton Abbey kind of way, like,
Yeah.
ooh, the unfortunate incident over in
Oh,
Boston.
Lady Grantham.
Terrible, terrible.
Yes.
Let's pass the sugar, please. There
Oh,
we go.
please. Oh, I spilled some tea. It's an unfortunate incident, just like those dead boys.
Yes. That's what I have in my mind when I read that phrase.
I assume Britain has probably advanced since the 1920s, but not in my brain. So that's cool. In a knife fight to the death between all the founding fathers, who would win and why?
Easy, Paul Revere.
Really?
Because he was a badass.
He seems like, I know he's good at riding horses. That's
I don't know if people
got.
realize how much of a badass Paul Revere is.
Really?
And I actually, when I'm giving tours, especially to groups of school children or to, you know, mixed groups of adults, I really try hard to come up with another way to say it, but I always want to say, Paul Revere was a badass, but I'm like, I can't actually say that.
He was a remarkable fellow, did
He
so
was
much for the country.
brave, and he was a bad dude, you know. But so Paul Revere, unlike people like John Hancock and Samuel Adams and whatnot, he was not a highly educated man. He was of the artisan class.
Oh, really?
When he was young, he grew up in the North End, which is sort of a, you know, mixed neighborhood.
Oh, wow.
Ran with a little group called the North End Gang. We were
I
talking about
have
gangs
some
earlier.
friends who I think are in that
Yeah.
gang. It's a very mixed neighborhood. I'm with you. But he was into stuff like that?
Yeah, actually, there were a couple of factions of working class men in Boston, the North End Gang and the South End Gang, and
Really?
they would get together every year on Pope's Day, which is kind of like the American Guy Fawkes Day,
Okay.
and they would have a fight on the streets of Boston, and then whoever won the fight, which means whoever was less beaten up, would win a special privilege, which was
Really?
that they would get to set on fire the parade floats versions of the Pope, which they had previously built. And Catholicism was not really big in Boston at the time,
I'm
so we're
getting
talking
that
about
vibe.
like effigy of the Pope on a parade cart with like little devils peering out from his robe.
Wow.
Yeah, these are the things about Boston history that people don't know.
Yeah, Brendan, how come you and me never do this? It's like Pope's Day every year and we don't even take any notice. There's...
It's a missed opportunity.
Brendan's a Crip, so he's got certain, you know, yep, just like that. Wow, I had no idea. I mean, I knew it was violent. I hear this is the city where if you like brought slaves here, they just beat the crap out of you and free your slaves, and then you just keep moving.
That maybe later on, but during the American Revolution, not so much.
Not so much.
Not
People
so
were
much.
trying to keep it safe.
No, slavery was a thing.
Wow.
So yeah,
Wow.
but a lot of the founding fathers in Boston freed their slaves just after the Revolution.
Wow. Well, I'm glad they did that. That's
Good
go
on them,
you,
right?
people in
Yeah.
history.
America.
Well, thank you so much for helping us to solve history
Yeah,
tonight,
no problem.
Veronica. I think we're that much closer. So what we're going to do right now is take a quick commercial break, but Veronica will be back with us right after said break. Stay where you are. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back, folks. We would like to introduce you to our very special game show segment, and tonight we'll be playing a game of... Where in the world are Zach and Brendan? Oh, thank you. This is why we require an exclusively psychic audience. Tonight's contestant is our special guest, Veronica Barron, who you may remember from several minutes ago. This game works as such. You'll be given 4 opportunities to guess where me or my trusty side mule, Brendan, are. We could be in any place or time in history. Just ring the bell as soon as you know the answer. If you win, you get a grand prize. And this prize, well, it's a rare prize, not given out to plebeians. Okay, Brendan, don't act like a plebeian. All right, so, Veronica, first set of clues. It is the year 1620 AD, and I've come upon a new land by ship. Number 2, the natives of the land tried to fight off our attempts of colonization, but we prevailed because we have guns and diseases. Lastly, number 3, I and my comrades are responsible for the creation of the United States of America. Where in the world am I?
We are in Boston, obviously, Mayflower Compact.
That is correct! Hey! All right, you are killing this so far, but that could easily be beginner's luck. So here are our next set of clues. Clue number 1. Brendan finds himself in New York, 1929, under the regime of Herbert Hoover. Clue number 2. Brendan is unemployed, and since happiness can only come from money, he is eternally sad and unable to find absolutely any meaning in his life. Clue number 3. Brendan has no choice but to move into shanty towns known as Hoovervilles and eat Hoover stew made up of rocks, aluminum cans, and his own Hoover tears. Where in the world is Brendan?
I conquered it all with endurance and courage.
No, you're very sad, Brendan.
Got it.
Veronica?
Sounds like he's in the middle of the Great Depression.
Yeah! Look at this. You're a natural, history lady. Next set of clues. Number 1. It's August 28th, 1963, and I'm on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial. Number 2, my good friend, Martin, is about to give a speech. Number 3, oh no, his microphone stopped working 5 minutes before he goes on. Luckily, I become a jack of many trades throughout my years and fix the microphones right as he's walking on stage and save the speech. Where in the world am I?
Sounds like the Lincoln Memorial for Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech.
Exactly! That's where I am! Great job! Okay, all right, we're getting into the tough stuff now. Next set of clues. Number 1. Brendan is on a street corner in Chicago, Illinois, 1974. A man asks Brendan if he would do a job for him. Brendan agrees. Number 2. The man lures Brendan into his house with promise of compensation.
Ooh, look who's not gonna be poor anymore! I'm gonna be happy!
Yeah, interesting theory. Number 3. The man puts on his clown suit and overpowers Brendan, torturing him.
What?
Until...
No, please!
Brendan is killed.
No!
Where in the world is Brendan?
Under the possession of John Wayne Gacy, AKA the Killer Clown.
Yes, that is very correct. Sounds to me like it's time for our bonus round of...
What historic plague does Brendan have?
No, I'm already dead.
No. Because you're not actually dead, we can contract you with diseases. It's how the human body works. Now, this is your last chance to win or lose. You're really the only one playing the game here, so yeah. We have to give this grand prize away to someone, and this last question is worth, Brendan, could you pick a number?
8,000.
This question will be worth 10 points. Let's get started. Are you ready?
Ready.
The year 1347 AD. Brendan is living in Europe. Brendan lives with a pack of wild rats and gets bitten by bacteria-carrying fleas. He begins getting a high fever, frequent seizures, muscle cramps, headaches, painful lymph gland swelling, and just general sickly, crappy feeling. What plague does Brendan have?
Ooh.
Plague of love.
Brendan, that doesn't exist. Veronica, you have 10 seconds.
Bubonic plague.
That is correct! Brendan, can you let her know what she won?
She's won 15 seconds of uninterrupted eye contact with our host, Zach. A sneak peek into his soul, but hey, not too long. Savor it.
Savor that, Veronica. Treasure it forever. I know I will. That's it for this week's game of...
Where in the world are Zach and Brendan?
Okay, that is beginning to get excessive. I could totally say that myself. We'll be back after these incredibly long messages. Everybody, they came all the way from the greater Boston area to be here today. Live from Nostalgia, please welcome the Beatles tribute band, Studio 2.
And I held her hand in my
Give it up one more time for Studio 2, please, ladies and gentlemen. Studio 2. Oh, my God. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been a real journey with you all. We've learned so much, and as a collective, taken at least 4 tentative steps toward enlightenment. I know I have. We brutally wheedled out the truth from our guest, discovered parts of our mind that should probably have been left in the dark, and we found out that Brendan can't hold down a podium roommate. So now, as our evening is drawing to a close, and your heads, heavy with knowledge and a genuine exhaustion of Brendan, are now nestled in a fluffy pillow, your frail, weak bodies enveloped in a warm blanket. You're probably ready to slip into the ether of the unconscious mind. It's time now that I help you drift away into dreams. In a great green country, capitaled by Saigon, there was a civil divide and a fear of Viet Cong, and a remnant of the French losing their colonies. There were 3 Western countries fighting over who gets where, and 2 prospective leaders and a room of advisors. An Agent Orange and landmines and PTSD. A smoldering crater of a village by the sea. Good night, Civil War. Good night, former colonies. Good night, Viet Cong. Good night, Johnson's advisors. Good night, Agent Orange and the landmines. Good night, Vietnamese woman named Liat I found myself in a passionate affair of forbidden love with. I have to let her go, the smell of gasoline filling her lungs, filling the air, and I look into her solitary, milky eye, and I slip her a photograph of you, and years later, your bastard son will find you and ask you, why didn't you bring his teen mother home, Daddy? When you back, you must go back to the States, and you become the host of a college-run late-night talk show in order to avoid him. Good night, crippling PTSD. Good night, United States credibility and foreign policy. Good night, former village, and good night to the sea. Good night, Liat. Good night, Saigon. We hope you enjoyed yourselves tonight. We sure did. Thank you for being such a fantastic audience and helping us solve history together. Thank you, Veronica. Good night. Never get out of the boat. Have a great night, ladies and gentlemen.